Man, bear with me 1 second. I try to figure out where I could go live on this TikTok. Look like nowhere. Yeah. Try to Instagram then. Okay, we're gonna go live on the Instagram. All right. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatah to all my brothers, Yahweh Shemal Atah Hashem, Yahweh Shah to all my sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. And what we do is we teach the blacks, Hispanic, and Native that they are God's true and only chosen people. And what being God's true and only chosen people comes with a set of responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? It comes with a declaration, a constitution, and that's called the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. And what that constitution dictates is for us to love each other the way the Most High wanted us to love each other. It shows us how to love each other properly. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get with it today. Today's topic is going to be about interracial relationships. You know what I'm saying? Which is an interesting topic because the simple fact is we're coming across a time that we just passed where we celebrated a man that was in full support of interracial relationships, which is Martin Luther King. He was in full support of it. In fact, that's what his true dream was that little black boys and little white girls could go out on dates without being harassed and all that. And that's not the way the Most High wanted it. That's not the way the Most High wanted it. Interracial relationship is simply a detriment to the black community. It is a poison to the black community. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get with it today. I want to give y'all a moment to, and ask any questions y'all like, any questions y'all want. If y'all have any questions, y'all could type them on in. Type them right into the class. I will be able to see them. You know what I'm saying? Type your questions right on in. And we will get it in. I ain't going to give y'all a couple of minutes to do so. But if you're on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Because we on YouTube and Boston No Cowards on YouTube. I will be typing in the scriptures, you know what I'm saying, as we get into class, so you'll be able to keep up with the scriptures, because everything I'm going to prove about interracial relationships is biblical. I'm going to prove that this is not the will of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So give y'all a couple more seconds to get y'all questions together, if y'all have any. You know what I'm saying? Any questions, type them on in. All right. And the first scripture we are going to go to is Old Testament. It's about as old as it gets. It's in Deuteronomy 7:3. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get this stigma that the Christian church puts on our community about, you know what I'm saying, interracial relationships. We're going to put that to a close today. You know what I'm saying? We're going to end that today. And we're going to show you what the Bible really means when it comes to interracial relationships. Is the Bible for swirling, or is it for black love? Let's get that understanding clear. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that clear. right, if you're there, read along with me. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. All right, so this is talking about marriages, and it's saying that we should not make marriages with them. Who is the them? Who is the them that it's talking about? To find out who the them is, you got to go up to the first verse. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to go up to the first verse so we can put it all in context. Because Christians like to take this out of context. So we're going to figure out who the them is. You know what I'm saying? When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land thither, thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. Like, hold on. What did it say? What did it just say right there? Let me read that last part again. 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. So this is talking about 7 nations. See, the Christian church would like to tell you it's talking about heathens. I mean, let me take that out because that's exactly what heathens is. See, the Christian poisoners still be poisoning me sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you. But Christians like to tell you it's talking about non-believers, people who don't believe in the will of the Most High. But let me tell you something. It just said 7 nations greater and mightier than you. So is it talking about non-believers or is it talking about nations? Well, the scripture clearly here says nations. Nations greater and mightier than you. You know what I'm saying? So let me read that from the top again. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it. See, this is right when he took us out of, out of servitude, out of Egypt captivity, and we going through the wilderness, and we're almost there. We're almost at the land. He's telling us, no, y'all almost there. Here's some rules he's setting up. So whether you go to possess this land, no matter what point of this vast land you're about to possess, here are some rules on what you should do, right? And have cast out many nations before thee. You're going to cast out all those people that are not your people. You're going to cast out the nations, not the non-believers, like the Christian church would like to teach you. It doesn't say non-believer. It says you're going to cast out nations. You know what I'm saying? That's man, woman, and child. You're going to cast them out, kick them out of the land, and you're going to possess that land, right? The Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. See, I know these are a bunch of nations you never heard of. You never heard of these nations. But these are African nations. A lot of these are African nations. You know what I'm saying? Most of them are, not all, but these are just nations. Keep that in mind. Because there's other scripture that points out even more nations. But just for in context of this, because these are the nations that are possessing the land that we are about to take over. So here's some of the things, right? Verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them. Like the Most High is going to deliver them into our hands. And what should we do? Should we hold hands and sing "We Shall Overcome" and protest along with them because of our oppression? Should we do that? No, it says thou shalt smite them. You know what the word smite means? Smite means destroy. Smite means to kill. We should smite them. That's what we should do to these other nations. Should we smite other nations or should we smite unbelievers? What is the scripture saying? You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. And utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Like, we ain't supposed to make no agreement with them. We ain't even supposed to show them any mercy. Just get rid of them. Toss them out, get rid of them. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Now, these same nations, not unbelievers, these same nations, we are not allowed to make any marriages with them. You know why? Because making a marriage was like making a covenant. It was like a form of peace treaty, especially back then. It was a form of peace treaty because you had two different nations, and for them to come into some line of peace, they would have a member of the family marry the other member of another family. So they, in essence, will become one family through that marriage. That's how they had peace treaties back then. That was a form of their peace, was through marriage. And that covenant we are not supposed to make with them. We're not supposed to make that covenant at all. You know, just that simple. You know what I'm saying? Thou shalt not give unto his son. Hold on, slide. Marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son. Like, we ain't supposed to give our precious princesses, our precious daughters over to their sons. Period. Period. It doesn't say unto their believers. It doesn't say unto their religion. It said unto their sons, unto their descendants, unto their heirs. We ain't supposed to be doing that. There's not, you know what I'm saying? What's her face? That tennis player. Serena Williams. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't supposed to be marrying that man. She wasn't supposed to be having children with that man. Because guess what? Now those children actually belong to that man's family. Those children are descendants of him. Those children are literally Caucasians, just darker complexion. You know what I'm saying? She is mothering them. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Nor his daughters shall thou take unto thy son. We should not be taking their daughters into our sons, like Kanye West. You see the hell he going through. Kanye's going through a lot of hell right now because he keeps on taking their daughters unto him. He keeps on dealing with these people. He keeps on, having a relationship with these people who obviously do not love him, who is obviously letting him fall by the wayside, who is not actually showing the proper love and care that a nation would show unto itself. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me. See, now this is what people seem to not understand. The Christian church would like to take this verse and equate it to faith, equate it to religious practices, and try to say that the whole thing, the whole context of this whole thing falls in this verse. But it doesn't. The whole context of it has already been read. It showed you who we should not make marriage of in the first verse. And it said nation, not believers. You know what I'm saying? Now it's showing you the effect of breaking the rule. It's not showing you that the rule, like this is the reason why. It's showing you the effect of breaking this rule. Now let's read it. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. Like, for one, it said thy son. It didn't even say thy daughters too. It didn't even say that. Why didn't it say that? Because that's not the context. It's just showing you an effect. If it was, because remember, it said, you shall not give your sons unto their daughter, you shall not take thy daughters unto your sons. So this effect if you have a Christian mind state, should only talk about half the rule. It should only be about half the rule because it's only talking about your son shall not follow thee. What about the daughters? What about the daughters? You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly? That's how you get the wrath of the Lord or the Most High against you, because you want to love other nations. You want to love other people. And Kanye, give a shout out to Captain Tazariak, for interviewing Kanye. But Kanye, he basically admitted to his porn addiction is why he has a liking to women like these dogs that he's been dating. Women like his former wife. You know what I'm saying? What's her name? Kim Kardashian. He dates women like that due to his porn addiction that he had, or probably still have. So it gave him a view of beauty that he should not have. He only sees them as beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this porn addiction would do. Porn addiction will obscure your view on reality. It would skew your view on the way things should be. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's go with Nehemiah 13. Let's go with Nehemiah 13. Let me type it up in here. I think 23. Oops. Nehemiah 13. And if you have any questions, you could type them on in. You know what I'm saying? This class isn't like, we don't, stop people from talking. You know what I'm saying? Or having their questions. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know, you don't know. The whole purpose of me being here is to show you. The whole purpose of me doing these classes so that you can know better. See, a lot of people think that this interracial relationship is of God. Interracial relationship is a beautiful thing. But let me tell you something. It's not. It's absolutely not. It's not of God at all. You know what I'm saying? It's not of God at all. So let's continue. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 23. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. See, like, this is now a different set of nations here. Now, before we had a limited group of nations, there were 7 nations. Now it's adding what, 3 more? I think that's 3 more nations. It's adding 3 more nations. Is it adding 3 more non-believers, 3 more religions? Nah, it's adding 3 more nations. Ashdod, Ammon. Ammon's like Japan. Moab, that's like China. So these are like Asian nations. So first it was talk about Africans mainly. You know what I'm saying? Now it's talking about Asians. You know what I'm saying? Who's married to Asians now? Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's married to an Asian woman. You know what I'm saying? He's breaking the Most High's laws. He's breaking God's laws. You know? Who else out there? I don't know. They're not the most attractive of people. You know what I'm saying? So let's get with it. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language. So this is another effect of breaking that law that's in Deuteronomy. This is another effect, which is losing your culture. Losing your culture. You're gonna end up start speaking their language. Unfortunately, right now this ain't too prevalent now because none of us really speak our language anyway. We all are speaking our oppressor's language. We're either speaking French, Spanish, English, Portuguese. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure somewhere there's a black man speaking Dutch and don't know a lick of Hebrew. You know why? Because our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So that leads us to lose our culture, just like interracial relationships forces us to lose our culture. Because you got to think, you're a man. You're a man. You have things to do to make sure the family's good. So you go out, you work. You go out, you do a whole bunch of other things, that you got to do to make sure that the family head is above water. Now that leaves that heathen woman with your kids. It leaves that heathen woman with your kids, and guess what? Now she's teaching your kids how great octopus tastes. Chopping up some cat and stir frying it. Eating crab, pork, shrimp, lobster. That's what she's feeding your kids. You know what I'm saying? That thing, your kids are in a whole bunch of other practices of a nation that you don't belong to because you wanted to marry that nation. And I'm pretty sure in your head you think it's okay. It's called multiculturalism. It's called being cultured. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that means you don't have a culture. Your culture is being kept away from your children. They don't understand the high holy days. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of culture is going to be kept away from your children because you want to interracial marriage. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue. Let's continue. And I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them. So Nehemiah is like, yo, he sees this. He sees that his brothers are marrying women that is not of his nation. Now, why would that hurt Nehemiah? Why would that affect Nehemiah? Well, why can't he mind his business? Why he worried about somebody else's bedroom? These are the type of questions Christians would ask. And let me tell you something. Know why? Because Nehemiah has brotherhood. Nehemiah knows that these men are leaving these women of his nation out in the dry. Women of our nation need protection. They need guidance. They need leadership. And you choose to give that to women that don't need it. They don't need it, and they definitely don't deserve ours. They definitely don't deserve ours. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. Like, let's take for example, Serena Williams. She's married to this Caucasian man, right? She amassed a greater amount of wealth. You know what I'm saying? A great amount of inheritance. So where does her inheritance go? It doesn't go to her people. It doesn't stay within her nation. It goes into a nation that don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Let's say Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he's the toughest man in the world, but you know what I'm saying? His woman, I don't know, does she got a job? He amassed a great amount of wealth, a great amount of inheritance. And where does it go? She is benefiting from it when another black woman could have benefited from it. He could have took a black woman out of the oppression that she is in, the financial strain she's in, but instead he decided to do that to an Asian woman who has her own nation, who has her own language, who has her own military to protect her interests. But the black woman in the hood doesn't have that. The black woman in Chicago, Detroit, in Washington, D.C., in Dorchester, Mattapan, you know what I'm saying? They don't have that protection. They don't have that that fence, that gate. So these rich men are going to give that protection and that inheritance to other women. And Nehemiah seen that, and it is painful. It's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? So he contended with them. What does it mean he contended with them? What does it mean by Nehemiah contended with these men that decided to date women outside of the nation? He debated with them. He debated with them, tried to show them how it's wrong according to the scriptures and according to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? What else he did with them? And he cursed them. So arguments are happening. You know what I'm saying? He cursing them out. And what else he do? He smote certain of them. Like we already told you what smiting means. Smiting, smote is the past tense of smite. He put his hands on some of them. He had to lay some of them down because they refused to see how interracial relationships is wrong. So he had to lay some down. You know what I'm saying? He stood up for the laws of God. Now, believe me, I'm not telling you to do anything Nehemiah is doing. You're not Nehemiah. But understand the passion that Nehemiah had for his people, the love that he had for his people and these law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. And plucked off their hair and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons. Like he's straight up telling them. He's pulling their hair, he's laying hands on them. And then he made them promise unto the Most High. Notice he didn't make them divorce the women they were with. He didn't make them divorce the women that they were with. Like there's fake Israelite groups who would do that. There's these fake Israelite groups that will make you leave the person that you're with and claim it's because you're unevenly yoked. And believe me, that's another scripture that Christians take out of context when it comes to this subject too. They believe that unevenly yoked is a religious thing too. No. But what Nehemiah was doing was a righteous thing. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back with it. Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons. So you shall not give your daughters unto their sons. So that's what he made them promise. Even though they broke the law, but to make sure that their children don't do the same thing that they did. He didn't force them to leave those women that they were with. He didn't do that. But he made them promise that this will not continue into the next generation. He snuffed it out right then and there. And that's what I'm trying to do today with y'all. I'm trying to inform y'all and teach y'all how unrighteous and wicked that this is. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Nor take their daughters unto your sons for yourselves. So don't even increase, don't even like get another woman that's out of the nation. Like you got what you got now, you got to deal with that. But don't be trying to marry another one, get a second wife, third, fourth, that are not of this nation. Stop the BS now. Stop the BS now. It's just that simple. Let's continue. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Like, whoa. That's another thing that Christians don't understand. Christians would like to have you believe that Solomon's downfall was based off of him having so many women. Him having so many women, hundreds and thousands of women. And they'd like to make you believe that that's why he lost his grace. Why the Most High didn't shine upon him anymore. That's why the nation split, was because King Solomon had so many women. But this is going to tell you something different. Didn't King Solomon sin by these things? Now, what are these things that it's talking about? We were just talking about it. Nehemiah seen brothers marrying women outside of the nation, not marrying a lot of women, but marrying women outside of the nation, not marrying unbelievers, but marrying women of other nations. And King Solomon sinned by these things. So King Solomon's sin was marrying women outside of the nation. All that wealth he amassed, and he wants to give it to other nations. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Yet among many nations was there no king like him. Like, still got to give it up to the man. There was never a king like him. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Who was beloved by his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. What's an outlandish woman? A woman that's not of your nation. A woman that's not of your bloodline, of your kinship. Don't understand the suffering and the ordeals that you went through. Even King Solomon fell by that. So this is also a warning to all the brothers out there that if King Solomon could fall by dealing with women outside the nation, so can you. And look what's happening to our brothers that do it. You know what I'm saying? Look at Lamar Odom. You know what I'm saying? That brother was found overdosing in a whorehouse. Married to, you know what I'm saying, to a Kardashian, and still OD'd in a whorehouse. You know what I'm saying? Kanye losing it. Well, what happened to Tiger Woods? He got a club across the head for dealing with these women like you. These women will cause you to fall. Tiger Woods haven't his 9-iron game haven't been the same since. You know what I'm saying? That man has not been playing the same since. You know what I'm saying? So let's hold on. Any more? Let's go to verse 27. So shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil? So should we follow in the steps of King Solomon by doing this great evil? Like it says, it called it a great evil. Marrying women from other nations is a great evil. It's a great evil. Should we follow in his footsteps by upsetting the Most High? To transgress against our God and marrying strange women. Like it's telling you straight up and down, it's about marrying strange women, not strange, you know what I'm saying, believers. You know what I'm saying? Marrying strange women, women that's not familiar to you, women whose customs and practices that you are not used to. That's what it's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Let's drop that. Let's get Proverbs 5 and 18. Let's get Proverbs 5 and 18. Give y'all a couple seconds to get there. I got to get there too. All right, hopefully y'all there. Let's get with it. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 18. Let thy fountain be blessed. Hold on. Hold on. Let's go up to verse 17. Let's get a little more perspective on it. Verse 17. Let them be only thy own, and not strangers with thee. Those are the only people that's supposed to be around us is our own. We ain't even supposed to have strangers around us. We ain't supposed to have outsiders around us. You know what I'm saying? We only supposed to have our own. Let only thy own be with thee, not strangers. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Who is that woman of your youth? Who is that wife of thy youth? Black man, you grew up in the hood. You grew up in the hood in the ghetto. You are familiar with black, Hispanic, and Native women. That's who you are familiar with. That's who your girlfriend was growing up. That was your first wife. I don't know how it was with y'all growing up, but we definitely had some type of playing house growing up. You were the daddy, she was the mommy. You know what I'm saying? That was the wife of your youth. That's the woman that you are familiar with. Those are the women that you are promised to. Those are the women that you have a purpose with. Is those black, Hispanic, and Native women that you were raised around that understand your pain, that understand the hell you going through coming from work all stressed out, having to deal with this oppressor and his demands and stuff. They understand it. They got to go through it too. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. That's the woman who you should be ravished by. That's the woman you should find attractive. Because to be honest, there's nobody more attractive than a black, Hispanic, or Native woman. They are the finest women on the planet. And it's proven and it's shown every day because who does the world decide to sexualize? The world decides to sexualize black, Hispanic, and Native women because the world knows there's nobody better looking than them. And they hold their beauty. They don't age all grotesquely and, 30 years old looking like you're 60. Black, Hispanic, and Native women age well. And that beauty holds up. Not many women do the same. You see Asian women once they turn 30, they look like they wise they wise village keepers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they the shaman of the village. They all age old as can be, decrepit and everything. You know what I'm saying? But all women are beautiful, and that's who we should be with. Let's continue. Verse 20. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman? Like, why would you even want to be with a Kardashian? Why would you even want to be with a person that is not of this nation? Like they have not, like they get all types of surgery in an attempt to look like black, Native, and Hispanic women. They do all types of surgeries and cosmetic procedures to get their lips thicker, their hips wider, their butt bigger. You know what I'm saying? There's even a white woman out there that actually got melanin injection so her skin can be darker. She is the weirdest looking thing on the planet. I don't know if y'all seen her, but she is now married to some Hamite, some African who fell for that nonsense. Good, let her be with them. But it is disgusting. They do all types of things to disfigure themselves to even try to look like us. Because our women are the most beautiful. So why would you even want to be with them? Why? Let's continue. And embrace the bosom of a stranger. Why would you want to, and like what is so attractive to? What makes you want to lay with them? They are dogs. They're about as filthy as it gets. They do all types of crazy stuff. You get with them, you're gonna be wondering why you bent over and her hand is lubed up. Have you losing your manhood, losing your sanity, being with these dogs? You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. Like Most High just questions your moves, man. He understands that you going through hell and you thinking that getting with these women is actually a way out of the hell that you in. You think it's an award to be with them, but it's not. It's not at all. Nothing beneficial being with women like that. Nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Let's drop that. Let's get no, should I go further? Let's go a little further. His own iniquity shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. So you getting with them, and you're gonna be that sin is on your head. You're gonna have to deal with everything that comes with that. You're gonna have to deal with all the punishment and all the hell that you gotta go through dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly, he shall go astray. If you want clarity on that scripture, just look at Kanye West. Look at Kanye. Kanye is struck. He is sliding away. He's losing grip. I ain't gonna hold you. Kanye, his folly is showing more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? He's slipping. Hopefully that brother gets out of it, wakes up, and just stops dealing with these heathens. Start dealing with his people. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's go to the Apocrypha real quick. Let's go to First Esdras 8 and 69. If you don't know, the word Apocrypha means collection of hidden books, right? These books are hidden because the Catholic Church literally stripped them, took them out of the Bible. That's why it is still found in the King James version, King James 1611, because that's where it originally was. You know what I'm saying? But let's go. Let's get with it. All right, hold on. Here we go. 8. First Esdras, chapter 8, verse 69. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land. Like, this is something that you can get with today. This is something that should be easily understood. We are not able to put away the strange people of this land. We love heathens. We love Gentiles. We love being around people that is not our people. We think it's some type of badge of honor to be that one black person, that one black friend a whole bunch of white people have. We think our credit gets higher. We think we think there's something elite about us because we are amongst them. You know what I'm saying? But just pay attention. It's about to get interesting. You know what I'm saying? Put away the people from the put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollution of the Gentiles. Like, we still dealing with these people and we still partake in the things that they do. And it's hard for us to put away the things that they do. You know what I'm saying? We still involve ourselves in their lifestyle and their culture. And it's not of God for us to even be around them. We're not even supposed to be around them. They're not supposed to be around us, more likely. They're not even supposed to be around us. This integration thing is not of God, period. The Most High is not about integration. The Most High is about segregation. He's about separation. You know what I'm saying? Keeping things pure. You know what I'm saying? Let's get with it. Nor the pollution of the Gentiles. What is the pollution of the Gentiles? What is the pollution of the Gentiles? Okay, to make it simpler for you to even understand that, first you got to understand what are they polluting? What are they polluting? Let me tell you something. They polluting us. They polluting us. They're polluting Black, Hispanic, and Native people. How are they doing it? By forcing their way, culture, and way of thinking onto us. You know what I'm saying? That's how they polluting us, and we just want it. We just want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's give a couple examples of the pollution. Our sisters on stripper poles. Our sisters on stripper poles. That is their pollution. That is something that they revel in. And since we see how happy they are, we want that same happiness. So our women get up on there to make a quick buck, and then we go in there just so we can just be demeaning and just trying to catch the same happiness our oppressor has by being in there. That's a form of pollution. The LGBTQ, that's a form of pollution. The dietary that they force on us, trying to make it seem like eating pork is the next white meat, and crab, shrimp, and lobster is the delicacy. They forcing that on us. Their drug use, they forcing that on us. You know what I'm saying? They forcing a whole bunch of pollution onto us. And we accept it with all the pride and happiness in our heart. But let's continue. To wit, of the Canaanites, like these are some of the nations. Canaanites, that's Africa. Perizzites, Jebusites, Moabites, Egyptians, and Edomites. Who are the Edomites? Who are the Edomites? Let me tell you something. The Edomites are the descendants of Esau, which is Jacob's twin brother, which is what you can call today Caucasians. Caucasians are the Edomites. These nations, I know you don't recognize these strange words in these nations. Where are these nations today? Well, these nations still exist. You think they don't exist no more? Think they just disappeared? No, these nations still exist. And this nation basically generalized everybody. Africans, you know what I'm saying? Asians and Caucasians and East Indians and all of them. Just put it all in a bucket. All these other nations outside of us. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. For both they and their sons have married with their daughters, and the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land. I don't know how a Christian could mix this up with religion. But it literally talked about nations and how we marry them, and us mixing our seed with them is just basically weakening us. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Mixed with the strange people of the land, and from the beginning of this matter, the rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity. So since the beginning of time, since this whole thing, who is the biggest perpetrators of this? Are great men. our rulers, our leaders are the biggest perpetrators of this. And what's the evidence of this? Look at it. In the black community, who is partaking in the most interracial relationships? Is it the poor men? Is it the average black man? Is it the average black woman that's partaking in this interracial relationships? No, it's the rich ones. It's our political leaders and clergymen. They get a little money and then they definitely going to get themselves a Becky. They're going to get themselves a Becky and leave Chantel and Tasha and Ebony out on the street corner. You know what I'm saying? Prostituting themselves because they're trying to make ends meet. But you got all this money. You rather help Becky make ends meet. Becky don't even have a problem making ends meet. Becky got a whole nation behind her. You know what I'm saying? If you got any questions, type them on in. If you're on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, you could type your questions in. I see you. Shout out to Just and Pink. Shalom, sis. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. We're gonna come back to this. So put a little bookmark in this. We're gonna come back to this chapter. But let's go further. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 26. Let me type it in there. '26 and I believe 20. All right. Actually, let's start with 19. Let's start with verse 19. All right. Now, if you know anything about Ecclesiasticus, it's a mother giving her son some game. You know what I'm saying? This is a mother teaching her son some things. And let me see what this mother was teaching her son. Let's see if these lessons are still being passed down today. You know what I'm saying? My son, keep the flower of thine age sound, and give not thy strength to strangers. Give not thy strength to strangers. Who are these strangers? Who are these strangers? You know what I'm saying? This is a mother telling her son, don't give your strength to strangers. Don't be giving all this that you got available, that you got to give to a stranger, to somebody that is not like you. You know what I'm saying? Has a different way of living, different culture, different custom, different mindset. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Verse 20. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed. Oh, she's dropping bars on her. This mother's dropping bars on her son. When you get a fruitful possession, when you get something valuable, something that's able to produce well, let me tell you something. Not every nation is fruitful. I know y'all looking at these Caucasians as if they are fruitful. They are not. They are dwindling. They are far from fruitful. They are far from fruitful. Guess who's popping out babies left and right for abortions, man? We probably like, whoo, we would definitely be the majority right now if it wasn't for abortion. If it wasn't for Planned Parenthood, because Black, Hispanic, and Native women be popping them out. They're very fruitful. And this mother is telling, get these fruitful women of your nation and impregnate them with your own seed. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Trusting in the goodness of thy stock, trusting in the goodness of of your genetics, trusting in the beauty of your own genetics. Like that's what you should be finding good. Like, what is your stock? Your stock is the way you are built. Trust in trust in the stock of that nappy head. Trust that. That's a beautiful thing. Trust in the stock of that dark skin. Trust in the stock of that wide nose, those thick lips. Trust in that stock. You know what I'm saying? Those wide eyes. You know what I'm saying? Those high cheekbones. Trust in the stock of that. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Verse 21. So thy race, which thou leavest, shall be magnified. Hold on. The Christian church like to say the Bible is not about race. The scripture has nothing to do with race, but hold on. It says, so thy race, which thou leavest, shall be magnified. So those kids that you leave behind, that's of your nation, guess what? They're going to be stronger. They're going to be magnified. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. That's how a nation becomes stronger, by sticking together, depending on each other, loving each other, and not giving the goodness of their stock unto another nation, not giving their strength unto strangers. This mother is putting this son on game. And is this something that's being done today? I know a black woman that told their son, don't bring no white girl around here. In fact, there's a trend on TikTok that got these white girls pretending like a black mother's throwing them out the house. And it's something that we should take heed to as black men. Why am I focusing on black men? Because the truth is, black men break this law more than black women. Black women only break it for two reasons: because they got money and they want more money, or because they feel unwanted. You know what I'm saying? The only two reasons. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let's continue. Having the confidence of their good descent. Like, you understand, you have confidence that you are passing down something great, that you are leaving something great behind. I remember growing up, I used to hear about how, now this came mostly from sisters. They want a mixed baby because they believe a mixed baby is cuter and all this and all that. They want a cute mixed baby. They didn't trust in the goodness of their stock. They don't trust in that. They want a baby with light eyes, light skin, straight hair, because they didn't trust in the goodness of their own stock. And as a black man, I never heard a black man say it, but I'm pretty sure there was some out there thinking it, because we are the ones that's doing it more than them. I don't know if we doing it for sex or we doing it for procreation. But whatever reason why we are interracially mingling, it needs to stop. It needs to stop, and you need to see the benefit in the women of your own nation. You need to see the benefit of these women that's downtrodden with you. See the benefit how they could support and uplift you and get you on your feet so this nation can grow. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's get Tobit. Let's stay in the pocket for some more. So we'll go back to the regular scripture soon, because I know a lot of y'all seem to have a Christian mind state and don't understand how these scriptures are still scriptures. And how everything, see, what I'm doing is proving that everything is the same. You know what I'm saying? What I read in the Old Testament is also in the Apocrypha. You know what I'm saying? Let's get with it. Let's get with it. Tobit's right after Esdras. Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son. Now, this is a father putting his son on some game. He said, beware of all whoredom, my son. So what he's about to show you that this is a form of whoredom. You know what I'm saying? This is a form of whoredom. Let's continue. And chiefly, and this is what you should do, beware of all whoredom. And chiefly, mainly, this is your main objective. Take a wife of the seed of thy fathers. That means take a woman that's of your own nation. Because if you don't, you're committing whoredom. Interracial relationships is a form of whoredom. You are whoring out yourself to other nations. And that's what MLK did. And when those FBI tapes, the audio come out, the transcripts are already out. But when the audio comes out of how this man was whoring himself out to other nations, all he wanted was a Becky in his bedroom. That's all he wanted. MLK wanted you to have a Becky in your bedroom too. But the Most High is telling you something different. He's telling you that that is a form of whoredom. Straight up and down, that's a form of whoredom. Let's continue. Take a seed of thy father and take not a strange woman to wife. Don't take a strange woman to wife. Keep that woman in your nation. If she's not of your nation, she's a strange woman. It doesn't say if she's not of your belief. It doesn't say if she's not of your belief. It says if she's not of the seed of thy fathers. She doesn't fall in the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then she's a strange woman. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Which is not of thy father's tribe, for we are Salakia, for we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Those are thy fathers right there. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. That's about point blank as it gets right there, right? Right? Our forefathers, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they all married women of their nation, of their people. You know what I'm saying? And in doing that, their children were great. You know what I'm saying? Their children kept the same thing going. But let's continue. Verse 13. Now, therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people. I'm not taking a wife of them, for in pride is destruction and much trouble. Y'all hear that? Why do we marry women that's not of our nation? It's because of pride. And because of pride, there's destruction. Kanye is being destroyed right now. Bill Cosby, destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Tiger Woods, destroyed. Emmett Till didn't even have a relationship with a strange woman. But guess what? A strange woman destroyed him. Saying he was whistling at her, that he was trying to hit on her. And she got that little brother killed. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want. For lewdness is the mother of famine. Like it's a very lewd thing. It's lewd. Let's look up the word lewd so you can get a little understanding. I can say lewd all I want, but if you don't understand what lewd means, there's no point in saying it. You know what I'm saying? Where's the where's the Miriam? There it is. There's the Miriam. All right, let's get it up there. Let's get it up there. Interracial relationship is a very lewd act. Now, what do I say? A lewd act? I mean, it is obscene. It's vulgar. It's sexually unchaste, lascivious. What does lascivious mean? We'll get to that in a sec. But definition two of lewd: evil, wicked. You know what I'm saying? Interracial relations, lewd, wicked. It is lacking legal or moral restraint, especially disregarding sexual restraints. That's what it is. That is obscene. It's vulgar. That's what interracial relationships is. And know how I knows of that? When you go on these clubhouses or if you get into a debate about, because the only people that have gender wars is black people. And when you hear about, how they trying to prove how all these strange women are better than all women, what are the things they go to? What are the things that they talk about how they're better? They go into sexual acts. They talk about how they are more sexually free. You know what I'm saying? Which is a lewd and obscene way of thinking. And that's why interracial relationships is a lewd thing. The bottom line is it always results down to sex when it comes to interracial relationship. Sex and money, that's it. It has no real basis on love, dependency, taking care of each other. No. It's all about sex and money. That's it. What do you think Kanye and Kim Kardashian relationship was about? It was about money and lewdness. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Hold on. Do I got any more of that? No, that's that on that. Let's go to Judges. Let's get back to the Bible real quick. Let's go to Judges 3 and 5. Oops. Get back to the scripture with it. One more page, one more page. Now let's see how the Most High sees this, right? All right, let's see where I want to start it. All right, let's start with 5. Let's start with 5. We're going to start with 5. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, and Hivites and Jebusites. Once again, we're around these heathens. We're around these Gentiles. We are amongst them. You know what I'm saying? That's where we are dwelling, right? Let's continue. Verse 6. And they took their daughters to be their wives. So we are amongst them, and we took their daughters to be our wives. We've seen these dry, dirty Africans, and we said we're going to take them to wives because some reason, just like today, we just love interracial relationships. Nothing changed. Nothing really changed with us. Like what happened back in the day of Judges, Nehemiah, Deuteronomy, all the way back to Noah. Probably could go even further back then. And there wasn't even Israelites then. We were involving ourselves in interracial relationships. Well, let's continue. And they took their daughters to be their wives and gave their daughters to their sons and served their gods. So we are interracial, involving ourselves with interracial relationships, and we're taking it further by even following their gods, which is what Deuteronomy 7 and 4 was talking about. That's the effect. That's one of the effects of dealing with interracial relationships. You know what I'm saying? The law is still not to marry them, but the effect, one of the effects is how we end up following their cultures and customs. You know what I'm saying? Which is something that we should not be doing. Let's continue. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. See, interracial relationships is evil in the sight of the Lord. These ain't my words. This is in the book of Judges. This is straight up and down in the book of Judges. How this is evil in the sight of the Lord. So no matter what I feel about it, no matter what you feel about it, the scripture's blatantly saying that interracial relationships is evil in the sight of the Lord. Let's continue. And forget the Lord their God. And they forgot. We forgot our power, just like we're doing today. We are forgetting our power. Right now, we'd rather worship money, worship politicians. That's what we're doing now. We're forgetting that all power can get us out of this hell easier and quicker with just a little bit of obedience to Him. We could be out of this hell. And one way to start with that obedience is stop dwelling with them, stop loving them. Loving them is what has us following their white Jesus, has us being Christians. Loving them is why we are Buddhists, we are Muslim, we are atheists, we are a whole bunch of weird stuff. Now, no, I've been seeing some weird things online. I don't even know what they're called. Loving them is why we even talk about zodiac signs. Like the level of immaturity in that is just hilarious to me. Just all around hilarious to me. And it's all because of our love for them. Plain and simple. Is there any more on that? Nope, that was it. That was it. We can go further, but that just shows the Most High's reaction to us. And believe there's destruction, there was some punishment being dealt for that. But let's go to Joshua 23. Let's go to Joshua 23 and 11. Wow. It's like a book behind Judges. Bear with me. I got these thin pages. Joshua chapter 23, verse 11. Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your power. That's what we should be doing. taking good heed to ourselves and loving the Most High, right? Very simple. Let's continue. Else if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, like think about the Most High. Love the Most High before you thinking about going and cleaving and linking up with them. Think about how terrible our God is. Think about the type of pain he could bring upon you for breaking his laws. Think about that. See, a lot of us like to think we commit some sexual act that's unlawful. We got to worry about sexual punishment. Now we got to worry about AIDS. We got to worry about syphilis. We got to worry about gonorrhea. We got to worry about what's the new one? Monkeypox. We got to worry about that stuff. Yes, you do. But not just that. For you sleeping with somebody that's not of your race, you could walk across the street and get hit by a bus. That's how the Most High's punishment works. Because all those other things could be stopped with a condom. But you can't stop the punishment of the Most High. How he gives it to you is how he gives it to you. Because you think you're doing something and the punishment has to be because of the effect of it. No. No, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It could be something completely random, and that's the punishment that you deserve because you broke the Most High's laws. So we're going to bring that back to the top again. Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God. Else if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of the nations. Guess what? You don't love the Most High if you're cleaving unto these nations. You don't love God if you're cleaving unto these nations. It's just about that simple. You don't love God by doing these things because you're more dependent on them. You depend on them. See, interracial and this integration stuff is not of God. God don't even like. It's like you gotta choose. You rather be around them or you rather be around your own people where God's at. God dwells amongst us, not amongst them. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they unto you. Like, think about it. You wanna hold on to these heathens, even the ones that just dwelling amongst us. We're not even amongst them. Let's talk about the ones that just happen to be sprinkled amongst us. You know those white girls that just swear they so hood. You know those Asian girls that swear they so hood, that swear they fit in amongst us. But you want to go in unto them, then you do not love God. You don't love God. It's just that simple. Let's continue. Know for certain that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations. Look, as long as we're dealing with them, as long as we having interracial relationships with them, guess what? They will not be driven out. We will still be their slaves. This situation that we in will continue as long as we continue to love them. Let's continue. But they shall be snares and traps unto you. What are they? They are snares and traps unto us. That's what they are, snares and traps. Kanye been snared. Bill Cosby been snared. Tiger Woods been snared. So many of us been snared and trapped by them. There's so many brothers right now strung out on drugs, high as can be, about 2 seconds from overdosing, with a Becky right next to him, with a Mailing right next to him. And when they start overdosing, you think they're gonna help? No, they're not. They're probably too high to help themselves, or they're just gonna run and make sure they don't get in trouble. They're gonna look out for themselves. That's what they're gonna do. And that's the most high judgment that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. But they should be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your side, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you. So guess what? They're gonna be snares and traps unto us forever, as long as we keep on loving them. Until we perish. As long as we keep on loving them. So one of the best ways to get out of this hell that we in is very simple. Stop loving them. It can't get simpler than that. When we stop loving them, the Most High will get them away from us, scoot them away. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's go to Ezra. 9. Let's say 2. Yeah, we might start at 1. Let's say 1 through 3. Now Ezra's after the Chronicles, so go after the Chronicles. You should be good. All right, well, now we're in Ezra. Hopefully you're there with me. Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the land, doing according to their abominations, even the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. So we once again are not separating ourselves from the people of this land. We are doing the things that they do. We are polluting ourselves with their practices. You know what I'm saying? It says straight up and down, have not separated themselves from the people of the land and doing according to their abominations. What they do is an abomination. Guess what? What are the things they do? They do Christmas, Valentine's Day. That is an abomination. Interracial relationships, sexual immorality. It means orgies. You know what I'm saying? Homosexuality. Um, they do pedophilia. You know what I'm saying? They do what's that thing where they like interfamily sex? Like they do stuff like that. I forgot what they call that. You know what I'm saying? But those are the things that they do. They do a whole bunch of drugs. They do eat the craziest things. That's the things that they do. You know what I'm saying? And we are not separating from them. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Verse 2. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves, like we are taking their women, their daughters, and we're marrying them. And for their sons, that we're taking their daughters and having our sons marry them. Right? So that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of these lands. Like we carry the seeds, the men carry the seeds. The men carry the seeds, and we are putting our seeds in women that are not worthy of it. These women are not worthy of it. Most likely, your seed's going to end up dying in the womb anyway, because their wounds are not strong enough to even carry you. But we are putting our seeds in women and having our seeds mingle with them. And they're not even worthy. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. The hand of the princes and rulers has been chief in this trespass. So once again, the great and strong men, they are the ones that are chief in this. They're the ones that are doing this the most. And the poor men are looking up to them, saying, oh, they must got it rich because they with this, this is the way our mind goes. We start attributing their greatness, excuse me, we start attributing their greatness to that heathen that they're with. They only that great because that heathen that they with. Like a lot of us won't even give Kanye credit for the mass amount of wealth that he did obtain. They say it's because of the Kardashians, not because of him. Like he wasn't going to get there without her. He was in the works of getting there way before he met her. But we want to attribute that like he would be nothing without her. And we attribute this to a lot of relationships, interracial relationships. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garments and my mantle and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard and sat down astonied, astound. And sat down astound, like he was amazed. I don't know how I did not see that. He was amazed. He was upset. He was so upset. He started ripping off his clothes. This is how prophets would do. This is an upsetting thing to see. When a man is with a, like, put it like this. When I was growing up, it's probably not the same nowadays, but it was upsetting to see a black woman with a white dude. It was upsetting. It was very upsetting. It was upsetting. And I'm pretty sure it was upsetting when a black woman seen a black man with a white girl. That's why these are hot topics on apps like Clubhouse, Facebook, Twitter. These are still hot topics because it actually is upsetting to see it. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is the people that's having these conversations are actual hypocrites. They actually don't like seeing black women with white men, but they want a white woman themselves. You see the issue? That's hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. Hold on. Did I finish that? Yeah, that's it on that. The brotherhood, just by seeing this interracial relationships and us partaking with all these heathens and living their lifestyle, is upsetting. It should be. And it should be. It's not just interracial relationships. You should be upset when you see a black man celebrating St. Patrick's Day. It's just weird. When you see a black man celebrating any of their holidays, see a black man with a Jesus piece on his neck, when you partake in anything that they do, it should be as upsetting. You know what I'm saying? It should be as equally as upsetting. But let's drop that. Let's get on 1 Kings 11 and 1. Now, we talked about King Solomon a bit earlier. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about him. He was mentioned on how his sin was marrying these heathen women, right? We was talking about that. But let's go into 1 Kings 11 and 1. All right, give y'all a second to get there. If y'all have any questions, type them on in. You know what I'm saying? Any questions, type them on in. But let's get with it. But King Solomon loved many strange women. He loved what? Many strange women. Now, what made these women strange? Together with the daughter of Pharaoh. That's why she was strange. She was the daughters of Pharaoh. She was an Egyptian woman. Women of Moab. I mean, women of the Moabites. That's why they were strange, because they were women that were Moabites. Women of Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. That's why they were strange, because they were not the women of his nation. That's why they were strange. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, like these are, like, listen, of the nations, not of the religions. Sorry, Christians. A lot of you Christians would still like to believe it's about faith and what you believe. No, it said nations. All right, let's continue. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said, the Lord didn't say because she didn't believe or they had different faiths. No, it said because they were different nations. That's what the Lord said. Unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in, ye shall not go into them, not until they come in unto you. And that was said in Deuteronomy. We should not be mingling with them, and they should not be mingling with us. See, the Most High is completely about segregation. He's not about this swirling. This swirling stuff is something that they do. It's not something that we should be doing. Let's continue. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. Like King Solomon, that's how he felt. He was marrying these strange women, and then he started losing his mind started following hundreds of gods. Started trying to please all his women by following their lifestyle, following their cultures, following their practices. You know what I'm saying? And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart. And that's what they did. Because they wasn't of his people. If they was of his people, would they have turned away his heart? No. No. Because they would have been practicing the same things he's practicing. They would have been following the same laws he follows. But he wanted women that was of other nations. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Actually, no, let's drop that. Let's get Proverbs 23. Let's get Proverbs 23. 33. Proverbs 23, verse 33. All right, let's get with it. Thy spine shall behold strange, thine spine, thine eyes shall behold strange women, and thine heart shall utter perverse things. Like we were saying earlier, interracial relationships is lewd. It's lewd. So when you involve yourself in interracial practices, the things you utter will be perverse. It would be lewd also. You know what I'm saying? You start putting your woman above the women of your nation. Start trying to give evidence to why she's better and superior to the women of your nation. And that's perverse. That's perverse. That's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember Kanye gave, before he went to this divorce thing, before he separated from Kim, he was giving her compliments on how she's such a great mother. How is she a great mother when she got weirdos around his children? How is she a great mother when she got her child on social media? You know what I'm saying? Doing all types of weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know it's different times and all, but stay away from these people. It's just that simple. Hold on, I got quite a few. Let's go back to First Esdras 8. I told you we're gonna go back here. First Esdras 8, I think 92. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, let's go to 92. First Esdras chapter 8. Hold on. Verse 92. Then Jeconiah, the son of Jelus, one of the sons of Israel, called out and said, O Esdras, we have sinned against the Lord. So he's coming to this prophet confessing of his sin. You know what I'm saying? We have sinned against the Lord God. We have married strange women. So this man is admitting that he is sinning against the Lord, our power, by marrying these strange women. He's saying he already sinned just by doing that. Now, Christians, his heart obviously wasn't turned away from the Most High because he's now confessing his sin. And his sin was the marrying of the strange women. He hasn't even went through the effects. So that cancels out your whole spiel on it's because you'll start following other gods. It's not because of their race. No. It's because of the nation. It's because of the nation they're a part of. This brother's confessing his sin, and his heart is not even turned away from the Most High. He's admitting that he did it. He is confessing right then and there. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Bear with me. We have sinned against the Lord. We have married strange women of the nations of the land. And now is all Israel aloft. Let us make an oath to the Lord. Hold on. Now all Israel is aloft. So they admit that their actions were screwing up things. They sinners was making things harder for the whole nation. But let's continue. Verse 93. Let us make an oath to the Lord that we will put away all our wives, which we have taken of the heathen with their children, like as thou hast decreed, and as many as do obey the Lord, the law of the Lord. So they are admitting they're wrong and they are trying to fix it. They are trying to fix it and they want to, you know what I'm saying, make atonement for it. They want to put away their wives and get rid of it because they recognize the wrong that they did. They recognized it. So sorry, Christians, it's not about their religion. It's not about their faith or their beliefs. It's about their nation. And these brothers recognize that and they're trying to make atonement for it. They want to put away the wives, put them somewhere else, far away from the people. You know what I'm saying? Let's drop that. Let's go to First Esdras 9 and 9. This is going to be the last verse. First Esdras chapter 9, verse 9. Let me type that in here. First Esdras chapter 9, verse 9. And do his will and separate yourselves from the heathen of the land and from the strange women. It's about that simple, y'all. Separate yourself from these strange women and these heathens. That is the Most High's will. That is God's plan, is for us to separate from these heathens, separate from these Gentiles, separate from these other nations, and start loving our own, start taking care of our own, start being dependent on our own, start building with our own, stop building with them, stop making their nation stronger. Because that's all interracial relationships do, is make their nation stronger. It doesn't make ours stronger, it makes theirs stronger. And with that, I'm going to end the class. This is the ISUPK, straight out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yohana. And we have the Passover coming up, April 1st, Raleigh Convention Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's going to be going down. You know what I'm saying? We got a whole week of plans, black parties, you know what I'm saying, historic retreats, you know what I'm saying, kids parties. It's going to be about a good week of a good time. You know what I'm saying? You got to get down there. It's 200 per individual adult. Anybody that's 17 and under gets in for free. You know what I'm saying? They get in for free. I know a lot of y'all want to complain about the $200. Guess what? It's all biblical too. It's all biblical too. You ain't giving up no land. Remember, you're supposed to give up a land. Guess how much a land costs? More than 200. You know what I'm saying? So get with it. You know what I'm saying? Get with your brothers. It's an order from Commander General Yohana that all you Israelites supposed to get down with this. All of us. And with that, shalom.